In this video, we're going to discuss the differences between the two layout modes that a Dialog component offers, which are control width mode and container width mode. So you can see here that we have two different dialogs. The top one is using control width mode, and the second one here is using container width mode. In both cases, the controls on the dialog are identical. They both have the same width properties. So you can see that in this top dialog over here, the first name and last name both have a width of 3 inches. Address has a width of 6 inches. City here has a width of 3 inches. This is 1 inch, and this is 2 inches. So even though the total width of the controls on each line adds up to 6 inches for each line, the right edges of the of each line are not properly aligned, and that's because the 6 inches that applies, for example, to this control here is augmented by the padding that is applied to each control, and also the space between each control. So for example, the total width of this line here would be the 3 inches for the first name control, plus the padding that is applied on the left and the right of the control, plus the spacer between the controls. So you can see that because of these additional widths that are applied to the actual control, laying out the control so that the right edge is nicely aligned is very difficult when you're using control width mode. On the other hand, in container width mode, the width setting that you apply in the dialog is not actually applied to the control itself, but is applied to the control's container. So the control container gets the width, and then the padding that you define for the container is applied inside the container, not and then the actual width of the control is what's left over. So even though we've set, for example, a width of 3 inches on this first name control here, the actual width that is applied is less than that, because the control has to fit inside its container that it has been set explicitly to 3 inches. But because of this change, because of this different way of computing container widths, you can see here that it's very easy now to get the right edges of the controls to be nicely aligned. So for example, if I were to go now and add a new line of controls over here, I could very easily make sure that the right edges of the controls were perfectly aligned by making sure that the width that I define for each control on that line adds up to 6 inches. But the real benefit of container width mode comes when you want to use percentage-based layouts. So let's go back to the control panel now and open up another dialog over here, and you can see that in this dialog we've got a frame that wraps all of the controls, and this frame we've set an explicit width here of 6 inches, but then on the individual controls you can see here that we've used percentages. So first name and last name have both been set to 50%, address is 100%, city is now set to 50%, 20%, and 30%. So these three controls add up to 100%. So now when we go over to working preview, you can see that everything is perfectly aligned, and if we were to go back to our frame and change that to say 3 inches, then without making any adjustments to the individual controls, we still have a perfectly aligned dialog. So the benefits of container width layout over control width layout, I think, are quite significant, and this is a important new feature for the Dialog component. Thanks very much for watching.